How old are you and how many shifts?
64 years old, 12 shifts to go.
What do you want to do in retirement? What are your plans?
Mary Jane and I want to travel to all the national parks and actually hike around, not just look at them through the windshield, actually hike around and spend a few days in each one. I think the national parks are the jewels of the country. You want to see them.
All right, so talk about your fitness and your back history and kind of ramble. What fitness has done for you, where you came from with the back injury.
Well, I've always enjoyed firefighting because it has that physical component to it. The physically challenging part of it is something that I found gratifying. And before I worked as a firefighter, I worked construction. Because I always had issues with my back and never really had it checked out until I got hired. And they took a back x-ray. Nobody ever said anything to me for a couple of years. And then the doc called me at work one day and said, you know, there's something wrong with your back and we probably wouldn't have hired you if we had looked at it. And I just said, too bad for you. I'm working, I'm keeping the job. And so she said, well, you know, you have to be careful of it and protect it and keep it strong and all that. So that was also a motivating factor for me to stay in shape. And, there was a period in my career where I initially got on the desk and I had overwhelming amount to do, so I quit working out for a couple of years, and of course then my back starts giving me lots of problems. My legs started going numb, and I went in and talked to the surgeon about it, and of course, you know, surgeons want to cut. You know, the world's full of nails, and they got the hammer. And he said, you know, you should have had this surgery decades ago. I think I was in my 40s. He said, you should have had this in your early 20s. And I said, well, how did I avoid it? He said, well, you kept your back muscles strong, and that's what kept you from having the surgery. And I said, well, I can do it again. And then I was committed to not just working out, but making my back strong again. And so I did. I started working out with great vigor, and I was motivated. Got back where I was in fairly good shape, and then another decade goes by, and even though I'm working out, it's cropping up again and giving me a hard time. It's actually keeping me from working out, and possibly I wasn't doing the right workout or whatever. So I ended up having the surgery. And after the surgery, it took me a couple years to get on track and get back to working out, and unfortunately, I was doing the same workout over and over. So I found my way to CrossFit, where I think the workout has immeasurably improved my back. I do things, my back feels like it's 10 years younger. You know, it just feels more vital, and I don't have the issues that I was having before I joined CrossFit. What can I say? I mean, things like I could never, when I went to sleep, I could never lay on my stomach because it hurt my back. And after less than a year at CrossFit, I would wake up laying on my stomach without even realizing it. I mean, it feels that normal again to me. So that's a lot of rambling. You're going to have to edit the hell out of that.
What do you enjoy doing for fitness, for a workout? If you had your choice, what are your favorite types?
You know, I like to be pushed aerobically. I like to really, I can't, you know, I have to scale. I can't keep up with the young folks around me, but I do like to push it and get a really good, sweaty, you know, butt dragging when I'm done workout. It feels good to still be able to accomplish that.
What brought you to CrossFit and Ryan's Gym, CrossFit Parker?
I heard people talk about it. You know, Scott, yourself, and the trainers and the people that were going here were talking about it. That they really pushed a good warm up, a good workout, and a good cool down with stretching, and all the components are there. And also they push safety. At my age, I can't afford to get hurt because it would just put such a big hole in my conditioning. And the trainers here are careful to make sure people don't get hurt here.
Lastly, firefighters get hurt working out. They get hurt in the weight room. Do we need to change as a profession?
No, I think we need to look at it a little differently. Actually, if you look at the amount of time that's spent, the man hours spent in the training room, the number of injuries we have is actually pretty small. You look at the number of injuries we have on scene with the amount of time we spend on scene, I'll bet the frequency per man hour on scene, injuries are way up compared to injuries in the weight room. And I think it's a handy excuse sometimes. You know, I don't want to work out because I might get hurt. That's a pretty thin excuse, although it works for some people.